Yeah, but they didn't just risk their lives.
So
I'll load it up.
Did you want to? Did you want to take that needle because it is covered in this gooey, slimy? So that's a reward in itself. Actually, for risking your life, that's.
I was actually going to say that because I want to because I'm a bit of a fan of poison, so I'm definitely going to see if I can harvest this needle and you possibly for my personal use.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy paste this, and I'm going to send it to you in a tell. And this is it. So I will go ahead and copy this and give this to you.
Okie doke.
I put the tapestries and other items in the portable hole since it's easy for me to carry stuff with that. So I put that in there, and then we can split it up later.
Okay. And then you can go ahead and copy paste that whatever you'd like to do on your character sheet, wherever you'd like to. Or maybe if you want to put poison needle on your inventory sheet and then copy paste it inside of that, you can do that. And as you can see, that's pretty nice, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I'll definitely take that.
The DC for that was 19. You rolled a 20 to disarm it. An 8 plus 12. So you barely got that. But good job. Thank goodness for double proficiency.
Double proficiency.
Yeah, very good. So as you guys are now into the room, you know, with this mist and all of this, well, the fog and, you know, the vines growing out from the ceiling and the floor and all this, you know, shrubbery that's coming out of the walls, you start to smell as you get down to the southern portion of the room, you can all start to smell a very acidic, a very putrid smell. And I'm not talking about, this is not the smell coming off of that needle either. This is definitely of an acidic. It almost kind of lines your nostrils, you know, kind of stings your nostrils a little bit, sort of like Sex Panther cologne or something. It's made of real bits of panther. So, you know, and Vey, you would think that you're probably getting pretty close to this green dragon. Because, you know, as you guys are getting close to this, you know, there's mist starting to happen. All of this, you know, the force is starting to take over this area of the stronghold. Pretty interesting.
So what happens? Green dragons make stuff grow, and they smell like putridness. And by putrid, you don't mean like you know, when you're saying like acidic, because they shoot acid, right? So they smell like acid. Will all of us know this, or just Vey?
Well, it's like an acidic smell. I mean, it could be poison, it could be acid, but it doesn't smell like, you know, honeysuckle or elderberries or dingleberries, whatever. I mean, it could smell like dingleberries, but exactly, Joe. It works 60% of the time, every time.
I'm just gonna take a gander through since we're getting close to this dragon potentially. Yeah. I'll look through my spells and see if there's something we can do. Now, I remember, that was this game, we have these necklaces that helped us stealth for a while.
Yeah. Yep. Seemed like that helps you quite a bit. Mine.
Yeah, so I still have my necklace on. And also we've kind of ascertained that this mist feels like it's more natural than magical.
It is.
And
it is a cool mist, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But something's muffling our sound, it seems.
But it could be just since it's natural, it could be just the vines absorbing the sound vibrations in the air. But I don't know what a bad thing of having muffled sound is at this point.
Well, you think it might be that, but, you know, Vey, with her arcana check, she was actually able to determine that it was definitely a magical dampening shield. Somehow it was, you know, dampening the sounds, you know, especially coming from the hall there.
So let me ask her, Vey, what why would anybody want to build a spell that dampens sounds?
Well, it could be a silent spell. And when I say that, I do a little prestidigitation. I create a few sparks in front of me to see if that still works.
Yeah, it does. Seems like your magic still works.
Did you get that message,
maybe
Dave?
not the silent sign.
So a silent spell to keep magic magicians from having to verbally say something, right?
Yeah, for being able to cast things that have a verbal component.
So then as we get closer to this spell, or this dragon, then I'm assuming that we're going to get quieter and quieter and quieter until we're not going to be able to communicate at all.
Have we noticed it getting more muffled, Dave?
No, it's the same. It hasn't gotten any worse.
Maybe there's something else around this. I mean, these are... I've never... I mean, I'll tell you, I don't worry so much about... as long as my God can hear me.
Yeah.
That's all there. That's all I care about.
Well, if your God can't hear you, even through a silent spell, you have issues. But I think we've checked this room, and I've personally checked everything that I possibly can in this room. And especially being this is where Neronvain lived. Neronvain was holding up, so if we think we're ready, I believe that as marked on the map, the way to the south is to the dragon.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking, definitely. Well, you know that, according to the cultist, there is another small antechamber that is between this and the next large room, which is going to be the chamber to the dragon. So I'll go ahead and open up this next. He points out X on the map where this passageway is. And you find the passage, Widow, and this is it.
All right.
So I don't like the way you said this is it.
He's busy.
Sorry, I was
revealing
revealing the map. Yeah, so this
okay,
is
I was nervous.
This is the
I was
chamber.
nervous.
No,
Like,
this is
it, guys. You're all dead. Sorry,
no, this is the small antechamber, the small one of the two secret chambers, because there's no visible path into the dragon's lair. Like the cultist said, there was two secret entryways. This is one, and this is the chamber that Neronvain uses, from what he was explaining.
So I am pretty good with survival skills, Dave. So
Hey,
I'm going to take a look at some tracks.
Long time no see.
Has there been a lot of people walking back and forth on this? Or
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. Now, the one thing that you see inside of this room is, as you guys safely make your way into the chamber, there is it's definitely for, that it was for Neronvain's personal use. And there is a shrine. And there's like a shrine, and what it is has basically like a pair of white eyes peering out, and it's sort of like a silhouette on the wall. And as you come into this chamber, now this putrid, acidic smell, poisonous smell, is now starting to get it's getting pretty strong. And the mist from the floor is getting a little bit more thick, so it's coming up to about your knees now, compared to it was around just above your ankles or the lower part of your shin back in Neronvain's chamber. But now there's much more growth coming off of the ceiling, from the walls. You can kind of swipe away the mist a couple times with a couple wafts, and there's much more growth on the floor also. Not going to hamper your movements in any way. But
so you mentioned that there's a shrine.
There is, yeah, and it's a silhouette on the wall.
So
there's a pair of white eyes kind of peering out from it. And I'm not talking about eyes that are kind of following you like what a tapestry would be, but just from the silhouette, And
I mean, like real eyes? I mean, 3D?
No, like I said.
Okay,
no.
all right.
But give me a religion check, though.
Yeah, that's where I was heading, because I feel like I could just turn around and say, "Oh, a shrine. Hey guys, I got this."
Yeah. You remember the symbol as being Fenmarel Mystarin, and you know that the only thing that you remember about this deity is it's basically the god of elven outcast.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I would know that.
Yeah,
so
but as for
I would
anything
relay
else,
that.
it's just not a mainstream elvish deity, because there's really not a lot of elvish outcasts. But for the ones that are outcast, this is their solitude.
They got their guide. I'm going to relay that to the group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there's also a journal on this sort of like an altar, and you know where the silhouette is on the wall, and there's a small little leather-bound journal.
Yeah, I'll pick that puppy up and I'll flip. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vay.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
As being an elf for almost 650 years, what would I know of this?
Know of what? The deity itself?
Yeah.
You know, once he says, "Oh, it's the god of elven outcasts," it's pretty much what you would know. Fenmarel Mystarin is the deity, and it's basically just an avenue where the elves would go that are outcast, because of the other elvish deities just really don't. They would think that the other elvish gods probably don't want anything, you know, to do with them. You know, also scapegoats and other, you know, elves that live lives of solitude. It's pretty much the worshippers of Fenmarel.
So the people that do this are desperate people that are willing to sacrifice like humankind, or is this just like any other religion where you've got your hierarchies and stuff? I'm just wondering, are we going to be looking for other people in here as like human sacrifices that we need to rescue, or is there even a potential for that of what I know about this religion?
No, the only thing that you would think would be, well, you remember Neronvain is the king's son, and he was banished from his city. So therefore, as you put two and two together, especially with Fenmarel, he is an outcast. Neronvain is an outcast. He was outcast by the king himself. As for why he was outcast, the story isn't really not clear.
So I might grab that book, that journal.
Sure.
And I'm assuming
everybody rolled X saving throws. There was an arcanic rune under it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, son of a bitch, Dave! I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Okay, so
and remember the damage you take is getting higher and higher now that you guys are all level 10 plus now.
So that reminds me, the mist has gone up.
You have a journal in your hand.
I'm assuming that the glow of I don't know if I should be casting light to see better, or if the glow is increased.
Very
or it's about
low.
the same.
Yeah, it's increased. It's intensified a little bit. Yeah.
All right, I
not
still
to
want
where
to be
you need
stealthy.
a torch.
Okay, so I'm going to flip right to the end, Dave. I'm not going to be this movie where they start looking at the first page of the journal. I'm going to flip right to the end and find out what it says at the end. That's where they always get to anyway.
Sure.
Boom! I'm there.
The last three words of the book say, "My poor father." Those are the last three words of the book. That's, you know,
and
if you go right to the end, you look at the last three words. This is "My poor father." ... It's pretty much what it says.
All right. So I'll look to the front now. Do I see that it's signed by Neronvain? Is this his journal?
Yeah, it definitely is. You know, you kind of glance through it, and it's talking about the relationship to the king. It seems like he doesn't refer to the king as his father. He just calls him King Melondrock. You know?
So I'm going to be reading. I'll be flipping through this, Dave, and kind of skipping through sections. But I will be reading some of these excerpts out loud when there's things that I believe are important. Like obviously, I'll say, "Hey, well, guys, this is Neronvain's Let me read you a little excerpt here, and then I'll just read some chunks out there. So if you have stuff that will talk a little bit about this, throw out a couple of excerpts that you think would be kind of important.
Yeah, well, this is one that you get. So Tiberius, I sent you a tell, and you can go ahead and read that to everyone if you'd like to. You just got lucky and turned it right to this page towards the end, of course.
All right, so I'm flipping through this. I'm like, okay, I read the My Poor Father part, and I read Neronvain. So I'm like, you guys, I'm reading this, and it says, today the Green Dragon Mask is already at the Well of Dragon, under Severn's protections, and it's ready to be assembled on the Mask of the Dragon Queen soon. So I think we may have a problem here. I think this guy has control of the Green Dragon Mask, according to this journal. It's possible that's why Chuth.
Well, you know, Severin is the leader of the cult. You're able to track the name Severin, and this is back in the Horde of the Dragon Queen when you were in the first the hatchery. Remember when you killed Landradrosa and everyone died from the roper and whatnot? When you were in Frularn Mondrath's chamber, and I have such a good memory for this stuff.
And remember, I hadn't started the game.
You hadn't started, yeah. But you remember stories from the Dolph Lundgren of all Dragonborns and the two Dragonborns and Zelos, that this Severin, and plus Leosin and Ontharr Froom, they've also spoken of Severin. And Severin is actually the leader of the Cult of the Dragon, the true supreme leader. And Severin, and this journal talks about building this mask of the Dragon Queen. And this mask, and it goes in, and there's some diagrams and pictures of what this mask is going to look like. Now, I do have a picture of this. So if you guys want to talk about this for just a second, I will pull up a couple of images for you really quick.
Well, it looks like they're further along than we thought. We'll need to take this journal directly to the council.
Well, I have another concern, that if they have this green dragon mask, I'm assuming like the white dragon mask, that they can control green dragons. So is this dragon that Chuth, do you think he's willingly helping out, or do you think he's being forced to help out? That might be how we approach this guy.
Now remember, I'll tell you this, remember, you've been dealing with chromatic dragons the entire time. Reds, greens, blues, blacks, whites. So where are you fixing to head to next? After this, where are you supposed to be going?
To the chromatic dragon.
To the metallic dragons.
Yeah, that's right. That where they're having the big thing.
Yeah, the metallic dragons are working with us.
Right.
You trying to persuade them to helping you. So, yeah. So the story, this journal kind of puts things a little bit more into perspective. And I'm still getting this.
Okay. I think the first page of this journal says by Gary Gygax.
No, Gary Gygax doesn't have anything to do with this.
No, I'm just joking.
I know.
Maybe it says Monster Manual. I'll start finding out some stats about this green dragon.
It's probably written by people who was born after he died.
So actually, there might be something else that would be interesting. Since you're kind of a bookwormy person, can you tell based on the ink when the last entry was?
That is basically a sketch of what the mask would look like, with all 5 masks put together to make one.
Wow. I'll show Vey that picture, and then I might remark to her, that would look so good on me. Just FYI.
And you kind of like stroke your eyebrows a little bit.
and kind of one of these things. Wow, that's really nice.
This is the mask that they were used to call forth Tiamat.
That is exactly the mask that they will, summon Tiamat. Yep.
So
Remember,
all
did
we've
you
got
ever
to
see
do
the...
is just get one of them, and they can't do it.
That's right. We just got to stop one of them.
So
I'm
going
going
to
hand the journal to... I'm sorry, go ahead.
The Rise of Tiamat video. Do you guys remember ever watching that video that they made for the Rise of Tiamat, where the bearer of the purple robes puts on this beautiful, this beautiful helm, this mask? I'll play it for you guys after the game.
Spoilers!
No, I'm just. It's no spoiler. It's out there for.
I'm just kidding, Dave.
No.
Did you say a
spoiler.
bear with a purple mask?
No, the bearer of the mask.
Bearer. I thought you said a bear. I'm like,
Yeah,
Dave,
I
that
did
doesn't
say
make any
bearer,
sense.
yeah.
Put it on his head.
Yeah, it was Boris.
Yeah, he's more bear than a regular
Boris.
bear. He's bearer.
It was the spirit of Boris that put on the mask.
Well, I'm going to hand the book to Vey and show her the picture, then remark to her, look at that. Can you tell me if when the last time that this thing was written in? We'll know how close they are.
Yeah, can I tell by the ink how long it's been?
Nah,
last time it was written?
Yeah, not really. I mean, probably maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. It doesn't seem like it's really faded. I mean, towards the front of the journal, I mean, it's still the same. It's maybe the whole journal's probably been written over the last. You can tell a little bit towards the front of the journal that it's probably about a year from when he first started writing, and there's still plenty of empty pages in the journal past the last page. It says "My poor father" on it.
This is all pretty current, Tiberius. It looks like he's keeping a journal here. Oh, he left.
I'm hearing everything. I had to let my dogs out. I heard everything. I had to let my dogs out. I'm sorry, I was on a sprint. I'm a fat guy, so of course I'm winded.
You should just roll then.
Just roll. Keep rolling.
Alright. Alright, well, while they're eyeballing this stuff, because, kind of already lost interest, just kind of walk down here and peer down this corridor to see if I see anything coming up.
Sure. Yeah, you can tell as you're kind of focusing and looking through the moss that's on the walls and all of the vines. You can see where there is a door, but you know that it's probably going to be pretty noisy when this thing opens up. And the chamber is on the other side.
Right.
So, Dave, I also want to. I mean, I'd love to be able to hear more and know what's going on, but I feel like we're getting close to these dragons, you guys.
You definitely are.
This dragon
on the other side of this wall, according to the cultists that you guys killed. Yeah.
So I believe I want to cast Bless on the three of them before we move through this doorway here. So before we break through and go through this passageway, I will remark to everybody, I'll bless you with a quick incantation before you go.
There's also another entry point too. Another DM piece of information that you've already been told several times. There's the entrance by water too. So there's two ways into this chamber.
Is this your subtle way of telling us that we should go the other way?
No, I'm just saying because you guys haven't mentioned it at all. So I don't know if you guys have forgotten about it or what.
We did at the beginning.
I don't think anybody wants to swim.
Yeah, we know we can go by water or the secret passage that comes around this way.
Yeah, you can.
No, nobody wants to get soaking wet.
Well.
Or in your case, wetter.
I don't have my blow dryer, so it's... Well, let's move to the right then. Let's start heading west or east.
Listen at this door. See if I hear anything.
Nothing.
Silence, huh?
Just pure silence.
Alright. Does this door appear to be trapped at all, or is it locked?
No, there is a couple of pressure, sort of like plates that are on the wall, kind of hidden behind some vines and some of the other vegetation that's growing on, the wall, and the moss is kind of covering them up. And you're going to have to press those, and you figure out the combination. You've seen this before, but it's going to make a lot of noise. And I'm sure you probably revert that back to the party, maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you may keep that a secret.
So it might be wise if the party kind of stayed back for a second, and then I could try to stealth. So that maybe if the door does open, if it does make enough noise, we'll be able to get some sort of sneak attack on these things. But I doubt it. But it's worth a shot.
We'll see how much noise it makes with all these vines in the way.
Yeah. All right.
I'll take a couple steps back and then have my weapons out.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and try the best that I can to sort of hide within the confines of this hallway, but
it's
I'm going
green
to press
dragon
the
time.
3 buttons, or however many, to open the door.
Okay. All right. So you start to whittle with the pressure plates that are on the wall, and you get the wall to kind of, the whole cavern kind of jolts a little bit, and the door goes out and just slides over to the side. And as the door slides to the side, there is a massive pitch black cavern in front of you. And as far as you can see with your dark vision, which is 60 feet, you can't see anything. It is just a massive cavern. And up above you, just goes and goes out of your dark vision, so you can't see any stalagmites hanging down, stalactites hanging down. You don't see any stalagmites pointing up. You just don't see anything. You don't see the top of the ceiling. And I mean, it is just a massive cavern. Probably at least, you're thinking probably at least 100 feet wide, because you can only see 60 feet of it. And you can't see, well, you can see towards the edge of the ceiling, and then it just ascends upward. Probably probably a tunnel going up. But I will go ahead and start revealing some of this. Now,
Widow!
As this...
What?
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dave.
No, please, go for it.
I was just going to say, Widow, do you have that arrow of dragon slaying that we got, those 2 arrows from last time?
Yes, I think I do.
I would equip that. And I have this powder of itchiness that I received as a unique or an uncommon item.
A powder of itchiness.
Let me look.
The itching powder?
Or something. I have to look to see what
What the hell does that do?
Gee, I don't know. Powder of itchiness. What do you think? Hold on. Dust of sneezing and choking. Okay, never mind.
All
There
right.
we go.
So I have
Dust
this.
of itchiness.
I have this small container of what looks like fine sand that I've been kind of swirling this whole time. I'm going to go ahead and hold that in my hand, and I'm thinking, at a good time, I want to be able to just throw that at something and bust that puppy open.
By the time he gets done talking, his quest spell will be gone.
Yeah, and as that door slides to the side, you are just hit with this. It almost takes your breath away. This very strong acidic smell, and you can see that the mist is just a little bit taller now. It just comes up a little bit more, probably up to about mid-thigh now. Well, yeah, I'd say probably your thighs, almost to your waist. And just the smell, and the roots are just growing everywhere. Just all this foliage everywhere. Small trees are growing up, and shrubberies are sticking out of the top of this mist. And then you hear a very low grumble of a voice that says, "Come in. We've been expecting you." Widow, you activated that secret door. It slid open very, very, very strong acidic smell now. Mist is a little bit higher off of the floor.